Hey
Hey
there,
there,
heroes!
heroes! I am going to try something I've never done before,
which is get the fucking
YouTube chat to work.
Let's see here.
Okay, I got it popped out. I'm gonna go to custom docs.
I hope
no one shows up here before I've got this figured out. Okay, docs.
Custom
Browser docs.
Fucking
Trash it. Apply. Nice. That should be applied. Nice. Okay.
And how
And
do
how do I add it to the stream layout?
I
don't
don't
know.
Plus.
Media source? Is anyone
viewing
yet?
yet?
Haha, no viewers. I still have time to figure this out.
Media
sources. No. It would be like, I think it would be capture. We call it YT chat.
And
oh, Jesus Christ. No. Window capture.
Oh
boy.
I hope you guys
can't goddamn see this.
You absolutely can.
Hold on.
Oh,
Fuck. Oh,
Jesus
Christ.
Okay.
This is a bust.
What?
Oh wait, hold on. Apply.
Oh, why is this so? Okay.
Docs.
Low
docs.
I think
that's what it is.
Docs.
Browser docs. Okay.
Yeah, I
don't know how to get you guys to see this thing.
Man,
I'm bad with technology. I'm just gonna start playing Metroid.
That's
gonna be a lot less embarrassing than whatever the hell I'm doing right now.
All right.
We're playing this one, I think.
I also know that I'm very quiet.
No, somebody saw it left. It's awful.
For 2 seconds.
Amazing. Absolutely goddamn amazing.
Yeah.
I'm gonna.
I'm gonna wait for
at least one person to show up, and then how am I gonna know they show up? I can't. Oh God! Why is this recording so ass? Where do we even go at this point? We're leaving Dairon. Yes.
Okay.
So
I currently don't have anyone in. Do I just wait here?
I'm just gonna sit here and wait for a single person to show up, and then I can start talking to them. I don't want to talk to absolutely fucking nobody. No. If anyone's goddamn confused, I'm just gonna start ranting about Chainsaw Man. If anyone's confused, they can suck it, or they can talk to me about it. So Chainsaw Man, chapter 168 came out, and I am currently losing my shit. So like first thing I want to say, just speaking to the void. First thing I want to say that I am absolutely in love with Fujimoto's writing for. I saw someone point this out on the subreddit very well. There is an echo. Oh, Jesus. Oh, I think I know why. What about now? Is this better? Alex, I know if no one's got my back, Alex has got my back. Yep, all right, there we go. I had two different audio inputs on at the same time. I do not know how to use OBS. But yeah, all right. I'm allowed to laugh at it. You're not. So one of the things about wait. Hold on. Is this even the same fucking No. I'm in the wrong God damn it. Okay, I'm just gonna goddamn I did the wrong save file. Okay. No, all right. Dead name leaked. Whatever. Yeah, so a thing that I really appreciate about Fujimoto's writing, back in, like when 167 came out, there's a lot of discourse, this big goddamn discourse, and the big focus of the discourse was like, was that sexual assault that just happened, and was it handled responsibly, right? And I think there's an aspect of writing essay that is maybe a little bit trick, because like a lot of people were like looking for like a confirmation of like the author screaming out like what happened to Denji wasn't okay, right? Like that kind of thing. And I saw somebody like compare this to the chapter right after he meets Fumiko, where he like thinks about to himself about like having this like big like moment where he like talks down or like, hey, I've got more self-respect than that, but like it's just in his head and he can't actually say it. And like a big aspect of how he represents the sexual trauma that the characters face is largely rooted in like just like small details of the reaction. They're not like thinking, I just got molested, what happened to me wasn't okay. They're thinking, oh, I hate myself. And you know what? I feel like that's a lot better. Oh my God. Oh God. There we go. Okay, yeah. But I feel like that's a lot better at actually communicating things. Like it's less oh God damn it. It's a lot less hokey, and I think it like sells the emotions a lot better. Looking at like chapter 168, there's all sorts of like conversations that the characters could have had, right? Like, oh, like, why did you do that to me? How, I don't know how I feel about that. Like all that kind of stuff. But like all of that pales into comparison to that one shot of Denji just like sitting down with like, just looking just like the most defeated I think I've ever seen anyone drawn. It was genuinely, I mean, he's cooking. And like a similar thing with like Asa's reaction, like her reaction being like, oh, now he's gonna think that I'm a slut, right? And it, like that seems like first blush like, oh, that's not what's important here. But like what's important here is like everyone's feelings of control over their own body. And she's saying that as a way of expressing that she did not feel in control of her own body at that moment, right? Like that's not what I wanted to do. Why did you make me do that? Like I want to be in control of everything that I do with, my hands and my lips and that kind of stuff. And, like expressing that same idea, but in a way that like actually makes sense for a teenager to say. I mean, that was absolutely goddamn brilliant. And, like that stuff alone just made the entire chapter. And I think was one of the best ways they could. And I think it's so, it's so great that they're just moving on, right? Like that sounds like a ridiculous thing to say about a sexual assault scene, but it's just like,
this happened in the middle of like this like big plan that like everyone has, and Denji's getting dragged along, and he's continuing like the world isn't stopping to deal with Denji's trauma, even though it should, and that's messed up, and like that's really good. High grade. And so I've been really I mean, it's been getting me like just everyone was like thinking, right? 167, the world was like Fujimoto's oyster, you know, like how exactly is Asaden going to, you know, progress from here? And we had all of these goddamn ideas, and I don't really think this was any of them, and that just like makes me even more goddamn curious about what's going to happen next. Like okay, like, you know, so it's starting like there's the very beginning of a conversation about, I need to look at the goddamn game, about like you know, there's very beginning of a conversation about like Asa and Yora being different people, right? I need to keep my eyes on the game and not chat's not updating. I don't even know why I'm keeping my eyes in. I'm pretty sure I still only have one viewer. Hi Alex. But regardless of that, you have, you know, it was very but it's like it's something like Denji has to like sit on, and he's not sure where he stands. And you know, like absolutely like just being told by Yoru, no, I don't like you, after like, you know, her being like, I think the first woman to make him come in his life, like first time that wasn't like all him, right? And like hearing that from, you know, your first, like that's I mean that does something to a man, right? And you know, especially him, because that's like the heart of his insecurities. I'm just working on projects. No, you're absolutely goddamn fine. Don't worry about it, Alex. This is part where I have to focus, because I even have a hard time doing this without lag. Now we're in missile time. Okay, now I can just autopilot for a bit. But you know, Yoru said like maybe like the worst thing he could have heard, like for his self-esteem, right? And so I mean, this is like, I think like the most like depressed, and I almost want to say docile, that this could have made Denji, right? Like he's not speaking his mind about it. He's just like shutting down. And considering that like we're about to enter a very pivotal part of the story, that's really interesting. Just like, you know, it makes you think like, all right, how is his fight with Yoru going to go down if he's just like emotionally unavailable? Is he even going to be able to fight? Like, is, you know, is that even going to be able to free Denji from Pochta? And like, you know, there might even just be this thing of like, okay, they're sitting here and none of it's working, and then public safety shows up. Or maybe like Fami tries to like force the issue in some regard. But I think the closest thing to a sweet thing in this chapter is that Yoru said that the feelings came from her, the other her, so from Asa. And so if Denji pieces together that there's two of them, then he does know that one of them does like him, right? And that is, I just hope that happens soon, because I want him to be happy. You know what I mean? Like, I don't even care about the plot implications. I just want him to be happy. Denji needs to have like at least like one rock. He needs to know like, oh, okay, right? Like there's at least one person who cares about, and like that could be really interesting going into the psychology of the fight, right? Because if he likes, if he like starts to like Asa, like her again, you know, like all of that, you know, coming together, and is like, oh wow, she's trying to save me because she likes me. You know, because like that's her motivation. Her motivation is directly tied to the exact thing that Denji needs to hear right now. And it's making me think, okay, like what's that going to do to Denji's like motivation in the fight? Like it's almost like his motivation might be to lose, if he thinks that if he loses then he can like be with the one girl to actually like him for him. And like I'm kind of interested in hearing like what's going to happen if Denji, like, I don't know, you know, like he wants, this is gonna sound stupid, but my mind keeps going back to the poetry collection, right? Because like at the start of the Fire Devil arc, right? At the start of the Fire Devil arc, we had Fami interrupting Yoru and Asa's bickering over the fact that she was falling in love with Chainsaw Man. And, you know, one of the big things I was focused on was this poetry reading that she did in her head because she couldn't keep down the feels. And then it's also revealed at the start of this new arc that Asa is... oh, I want to see if I can do this. Ah! No, 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 no. Okay. Whew! Yeah, I did it. Awesome. I'm a gamer. I'm not a gamer. I'm not a gamer. I am not a gamer. Okay. Yeah. So, it revealed that she had an entire poetry collection, and I think it would be so fucking funny if all of them were about Chainsaw Man, and just like very thinly veiled love letters to Chainsaw Man in specific, right? Like mixed in with some just generic emo stuff, and you know, like maybe this spills into next week or something like that. And like Denji, like the poetry collection goes on sale, and Denji reads it, and it's just like all like stuff about him, and it's really poorly written, and he's like, and he wants to be moved, but it's so cringy that like he almost wants to like, ah, like that feels like a Fujimoto moment, right? Like oh, it's like almost this nice moment, but then it's like Denji gets hung up on something stupid and they get into a shouting match, and then, you know, they're both like curled up, hugging their knees, sitting next to a wall, and then they start apologizing as they finally have like a bond. Like, you know, you know how he does his like kind of like writing stuff, you know. But I know he might also just think that it's fucking awesome that a girl likes him. I don't even know how he'd react. I don't know if they're ever going to bring that up. Uh-oh, that's going to be an issue. Ah! Oh, God. Okay. You're fucking fat ass. Oh, my God. I got one. Holy shit. I don't think I've ever got one of those before. Woohoo! Yeehaw! All right. Fuck yeah. Woo! Let's go. No, we gotta go. We gotta go. Gotta go. 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 It's this way. This way. Oh boy. Oh boy. Oh, okay. All right. I pushed my luck. I pushed my goddamn luck. I should have gone through the first door. It's really hard to tell just how much more of the story there is in part 2. I feel it's supposed to be similar, but we don't know if they have. But we don't have a Crazy Mountain left. The way that I tried to think about it is story structure, right? So part 2 is structured very similarly to part 1, and I don't know if that's done in like the sense that it's like intentional parallels, or it's just like it's written by the same person. Oh boy. Sorry. But if the story is supposed to go for a lot longer, I'm looking forward to another date between Denji and Asayoru. I'm absolutely looking for the next date as well. Oh boy, okay. Panic, 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 panic. Okay, no, I basically got it from here. I know to get I'm calm. Okay. Yeah, what was I saying? Yeah. So, you know, you look at the first 2 arcs, right? Like, they are very direct parallels to each other. Like, you have the initial like intro, like one shot leading into this kind of like setting the scene chapter with you know, on one hand you have the like the boobs arc, and then on the other hand you have the Yuko arc. And then you have the thing with the Eternity Devil, which kind of set the stage for Denji interacting with this like new greater cast of characters, slowly developing his powers. But it was this kind of like very chill, character-oriented thing. Right? And so those 2 arcs, similar in length. I think it went a little bit longer. I think everything's taking a little bit longer in part 2 because it's a more complex story. And after that, I guess you could kind of form a parallel between the Katana Devil arc and the Falling Devil arc. There's lots of differences, but you know, there's this kind of like purpose of like having this arc that's very like shit starts getting real. Like the Katana Devil arc kind of like had two was kind of like the size of two arcs, where the very beginning it was focused on, you know, establishing how big of a threat he was, and then there was getting the gang all together and taking him out, right? And that took about 20-ish chapters, right? Falling Devil was only about 10-ish chapters, right? Like it was a little bit more, but like, you know, like one arc, I guess you could say, right? Um, and then, you know, there's about one arc focused of time focused on the Reese arc. And so I guess like the comparison of that would be the Fire Devil arc, but the Fire Devil arc was well, I mean that was the double length one. That one was like 25 chapters or something like that. And so, you know, it's not completely comparable, but you can kind of see a similar thing, because the Reese arc is kind of where shit got like real on an emotional level, and the same is true about the Fire Devil arc, right? You know, it started with like 10 chapters of this buildup of like you know, Denji being depressed and us learning about the Chainsaw Man Church. And then it eventually, you know, turns into like, you know, like shit's going crazy, and it wasn't even this like big climactic fight. It was mostly just, you know, Denji trying to run from this giant catastrophe, that like this terrorist attack that's going on, and eventually he can't anymore. Then he has this big fight he completely curb stomps before getting attacked by a bunch of randos who he doesn't want to kill, right? Just like normal people. And then like who knows what happens to Nayata, and it's this very just like dark thing, you know what I mean? And you know, that's not the exact same kind of thing as the Reese arc, but it is comparable in like, I think a lot of its story purposes, where it kind of transitions from Chainsaw Man, the dumb action thing with some interesting themes, to Chainsaw Man, like the thing that we kind of know it for, right? And I think, you know, like the Fire Devil arc was nothing if not a transition. And so now we're at the end of that transition, and so I kind of see this as being sort of, so if we think about what happened after the Reese arc, we had one chaotic action chapter that existed to get character development out of the way. And then after that, we have a very kind of slow, depressing thing that, you know, eventually kind of like brings us closer towards the climax. This would be the Gun Devil arc, right? And that's like focused on just like Denji having depression, Aki having more depression, and eventually, you know, killing Aki. And then you had the big finale. And so after that happened, you know, so, you know, you have those kind of three things. So thematically, this kind of feels, I don't know. So like, if I were to guess how much we have left, I think that whatever is happening right now is going to slowly devolve into a giant clusterfuck. After which, we have a deeply emotional and depressing arc. And then at the end of that arc, the Death Devil is going to show up. And I think that just like makes a lot of sense for like a multitude of reasons. Like, you know, this is like us, I think, going to be this moment like, all right, let's get ready for the Death Devil to show up. And then, you know, Fami's plan doesn't work. And Fami's like, oh, fuck. I mean, we're fucked. And it's kind of like, you know, because they're fucked, like she starts taking like drastic measures, and that like Denji and Asa can't stand for her. So like Denji and Asa have to run away or something like that, or at least kind of like go on their own. But like, you know, public safety isn't somewhere they can go to either. And so, you know, it's going to be this like, okay, well, there's no plan to save the world. And our two nerds just want to be happy, but they can't be happy. And maybe that's when we have the date. I think that's going to be when we have the Asuden date. Look, I hid from you. So yeah, if you're asking like when you think the Asuden date is going to happen, I think it's going to be then. I don't think we're going to have any more slice of life after this. I don't think it's very likely that we're going to have a slice of life unless it's like a very short period right after this arc. I think we're kind of going to start hurtling towards the climax once Fami's attempt here is done. And then, you know, the climax is going to be a big thing against the Death Devil, where I think Asa and Denji are going to work together. That's my theory. I think it makes sense. Like in the same way that it was kind of obvious that like part 1 was going to end with you know, like everyone, like them fighting the Gun Devil and then like them fighting Makima, right? I do wonder if the Death Devil is going to hold on. I do wonder if the Death Devil is going to be another Gun Devil where the actual threat will be much different than expected. That's actually, you raise a good point. It could be possible that the Death Devil is the equivalent of the Gun Devil on a narrative level. And the equivalent of Makima is like Yoshida in Public Safety. You know, like they've got like someone like bigger, or even just like both Fami and Public Safety, and it's this thing where it's like, okay, we stopped the main threat, but like they're still at each other's throats, so like what the fuck do we do, right? You know, it's this kind of thing, like, you know, it's actually funny, right? So I was recently going through a playthrough of the entire Xenoblade Chronicles franchise. This is such a fucking tangent. I'm so sorry. But oh, son of a bitch. Okay, I see what game we're playing. Oh wait, there we go. But I was playing through Xenoblade Chronicles 3. And, you know, one of the things about Xenoblade Chronicles 3 is that it is very, very, it's infamous for having kind of a weak ending. And, like, the reason for that is a little bit nuanced. So a lot of Japanese media goes through this thing called Kisho Tenketsu, which is the 4-act story structure. And it has, you know, 4 main parts, that are somewhat analogous to the 3 acts of the 3-act story structure. So, like, part 1 is establish a concept, part 2 is develop the concept, part 3 is add a new concept, and then part 4 is conclude both concepts at once. So, you know, the example I always give is Act 1, we need to fight the Titans. Act 2, we are fighting the Titans. Act 3, oh god, Eren is a Titan. Act 4, let's use the fact that Eren is a Titan to fight the Titans. Act 3 twists, you know, it's like the gang getting split up partway through Brotherhood, or that moment in the first episode of Evangelion where it goes from that fun action thing to like just pure depression, right? You know, when it gets into like this Shinji getting the robot nonsense. And, you know, the kind of the thing with Xenoblade Chronicles 3 was that it had its 3rd act twist, right? And that was the city. I don't know if you play that, but basically but you know, it didn't. So like Act 1 was like, you know, like the gang versus like tries to fight racism, right? Like, because, you know, all of there we go. You know, there's the initial villains, which it's weird because like the way that it feels like it should have happened, right, is that Act 1, you're fighting, you know, you're fighting racism, right? Because like the initial problem is that like no one's really fucking getting along. And you know, then you learn about the twist villain in Mobius, and then you know, at some point, in order to stop Mobius, need to get everyone together. And it's like, it's kind of like that, but they kind of front load it all, right? You know, there's this moment that feels like that really feels like a 3rd act twist, right? Like the kind of thing, like showing up, like finding the basement, this kind of thing that recontextualizes everything and changes the very way the story is told. Like, you know, when they found out about life fibers in Kill la Kill, or, you know, after Lord Genome was defeated in Gurren Lagann. But, you know, this does happen, you know, a little bit after halfway through the game, but there really isn't like a huge recontextualization. There's like a lore dump, but there isn't like a recontextualization of what enemy they're fighting, and there's nothing to reincorporate, because a huge aspect is like a reincorporation. With the example of Attack on Titan, you have like we're fighting the Titans. Oh, we realize that the real enemy is like geopolitics, but then like the very conclusion concludes all of the geopolitics, while also kind of feeling like a conclusion of what everyone thought the story would be at the beginning, because it ends with them just fighting like a big fuck off Titan. It ends with the Survey Corps, like Acts 1 and 2 was like, oh, it's about the Survey Corps going out and stopping Titans in the world outside the walls. Then Act 3 is like, it's no longer about that. And then at the very big finale, it became about that again. In Brotherhood, first 2 acts, it's about the gang getting together to fight the homunculi, and then everyone's families get kidnapped as hostages, so they have to split up. But then in the finale, I basically only play MMOs. What was that in context with? I was just going on a goddamn. Oh yeah, because I was talking about JRPGs. But yeah, and then like but like in Xenoblade Chronicles 3, I mean, you don't really have something like that. And like what I think about, like like, okay, how would I like rewrite it? And like the first thing that always comes to mind is, well, what if the story ends with them having to like get everyone together, right? Like what if the story ends with them having to like unite everyone? And like an idea I actually had was like, after they defeat the big bad guys who caused all of the racism to happen, what if there was like a big moment where everything still sucked and they had to stop a whole ass civil war, right? And so the big bad guy's defeated, but then there's this like very human conflict at the end, and like that probably wouldn't have worked, right? But like what you said with what is the Death Devil's just like the Gun Devil? It made me think about exactly that, because it's like okay, what if they stop the Death Devil, but then the real enemy is like, and this makes sense because it's kind of the real enemy of the entire part are the expectations that these two groups are placing on Asa and Denji, and so it kind of makes sense for them to be the final villains in the same way that Makimo is the final villain of Part 1, because Part 1 had a lot to do with the way that Denji was being used by Makima in specific. That was a very long tangent to say that I think that's a very real possibility. I think there's a very good chance that this chapter just ends. I mean, this little arc just ends with all of the characters being like, there is no hope. The Death Devil shows up, and like, they barely managed to stop her, or they managed to contain her, or maybe she wasn't actually as big of a threat as we thought, and like, for example, like public safety just wants to use her or something like that. And then at the end of all of it, maybe they do stop her, but in the process they break Asa and Denji, and in the aftermath, Asa, Yoru, Denji, they all feel like absolute shit, and then famine and like public safety continue trying to use them, and they have to like fight back against that. I mean, that'd be pretty fucking based. I think that would be pretty fucking based. I think that'd be cool as fuck, personally. Basically, we're gonna play MMOs. Yeah, that's the last thing you said. Yeah, so those are some of the big thoughts about. I feel like I had some others. Right? Yeah. So Death by Sushi. Some people have been theorizing that Death by Sushi is gonna have to do with the Death Devil. I don't think so. Though it would be funny if the Death Devil just kind of showed up, and like. I don't know if any of you guys have seen Scridman, but just kind of like that moment there where like the antagonist kind of like shows up and has dinner with the protagonist, like, and Death Devil's like, hey guys, a few weeks from now I'm gonna fucking kill everyone. Just letting you know. Right. I feel like that's something Fujimoto would do to characterize his new villain. Just have her show up like, yeah, I'm gonna fucking kill everyone, right? Yeah. I feel like the Death Devil being lazy would be like a cute twist. Just like constantly tired, right? Because like Death's a long sleep, and maybe she's constantly sleeping, or Death isn't that malicious. 3/4 of them have been pretty significant. Oh god. So it feels weird that we haven't seen Death yet, and they're just defeated not too long after. Yeah, like I haven't been able to shake the feeling like, is Death even a bad person? Right? Like probably, but like, is she going to show up and just kill everyone? Is that what she wants? You know what I mean? Right? Like, like, everyone's scared of death. She doesn't, like, if everyone's gone, no one's going to be scared of death anymore. And, like, she is currently probably doing fine since she's the strongest devil. Everyone's scared of death. And there probably isn't anyone who kills the Death Devil to send them to our world. Wait, hold on. That's a good fucking question, if you ask me. How does the Death Devil get here if a devil needs to die in hell to go to our world? Oh. Nothing to see here. Nothing to see here. This is not the twink you're looking for. Perfect. Oh, brother. Okay, okay. Okay, calm down. Calm down. You know the route. You know the route. You know the route. Just slide under here. Jump up here. Jump up here and then here. Run across here. Jump up this. Slide. Go. Yeah. Yeah. How Poshi was able to exit hell during the fight with Makima. Huh. I mean, my guess would be that, like, the entire fight left Pochita injured. Yeah, I'm confused with the mechanics of that, but I imagine that it's like he got really... Maybe he, like, intentionally died so that he'd show up. Like, they're using a lot of powers that weaken a devil. And then he intentionally died when they weren't trying to kill him. Like Maki was trying to, you know, beat him without killing him, right? And then at the end of that, you know, he like killed himself as an escape. So like does Death want to kill herself? Like what if Death just wants to hang, right? But she kills everyone she goes around. What if she's just sad and she wants friends? I don't think that's gonna be what it is, but I mean that kind of was what it was with Makima, right? Like she wanted hugs or something. No, that was, Pochi wanted hugs, but he couldn't get any because everyone he hugged died. I literally ran into that one. Masha needs work. Makima wanted family. Yeah, exactly. And I don't know. I feel like there's a chance of the Death Devil being to some extent redeemed. I think that could be pretty cool. But yeah, no, I'm actually starting to get run over. I think like the Death Devil being the big final boss, I think that's too obvious, right? Famine doesn't seem strong enough. I mean, like she can summon really powerful devils under specific conditions. We don't know what the conditions are. But you know, it's like you know, would it be like Yoshida? Like, I think it's entirely... My theory is that public safety is trying to steal the power of the Death Devil. That's my guess. And they're going to try to use it as a weapon to kill all, like, other devils and keep everything safe. But in doing so, maybe they're like... Maybe, like, the Death Devil doesn't want to be used. Maybe they would just want to hang out in hell where they can't kill anyone. Right? I think that's a very, very good possibility. I mean that'd be cute. That'd be really, really cute. God, I'm so excited for Chainsaw Man. I'm so goddamn excited. Wait, is there a new Dame doll? No, there wouldn't. I would have gotten a notification. That's another one that I'm really keeping up with. I'm keeping up with a whole bunch of them right now. Dame doll is definitely one of my favorites. I don't know if you've read it. Oh yeah, there's the first thing that Yoru talked about, how she was hungry, but they were going to a sushi restaurant and Asa hates seafood. I wonder if that will become relevant with family. Oh yeah, no. I mean, there's actually going to be hijinks over the fact that she doesn't like seafood, right? Like that's absolutely going to be used for comic relief. Oh wait, like Fammy trying to starve her? Oh. Okay, yo comprende, yo comprende. Yo comprendo. But God, Juan's gonna fucking kill me for saying that. Luckily he's not watching this one. Woo! Okay. Oh god, it's a little hard with just the slight lag. But there we go. Okay. Yeah, I do wonder if that is going to have something to do with it. I almost feel like Yoru is just going to go in and like force her to eat or some shit like that. I don't know if Yoru can do that. Oh, my last message didn't said, oh my god, he is here. Shit. No, the person who speaks Spanish is here and he heard my terrible Spanish. Okay, I missed it. Hey, Ramix, how's it going? Okay, yeah. But you know, that's actually something I'm interested in. One of the things I really like about this chapter, is that it like the last thing that happened, right? Spanish failure detected. Shut the fuck up. Caballeros Argentinos están en camino. I don't even know what that fucking means. Oh my fucking god. And okay, I screwed that up. My failure of Spanish has I took 5 years of Spanish. My failure of Spanish is now bringing so much shame onto me that I'm screwing up easy tricks. What was I fucking talking about? I was talking about, right, the dinner. One of the things I'm excited about with the dinner, is that, it's gonna give Asa and Denji time to talk. It's gonna have them talk alongside everyone else, including Katana Man, which I think is funny, right? And I like how, like, the three, like, losers are just also along for the ride. I kind of, like, they kind of remind me of, you know, like, people like, Kobeni and that guy who got killed off and Himeno, except none of them got killed off. Yeah. Feed yourself, Ramix. I already had dinner. But yeah, I think one of the I mean, that's what I'm super excited about. I'm excited for Asa and Denji and their loser not quite friends to talk with each other and like talk things out. And it's probably just gonna make things messier and be silly, but like I want to see that goddamn dynamic because like even more than the action, the weird like interpersonal shit has been the best part of part two. And that's why I like it so much. Everyone's like, oh, the Fire Devil arcs, it's so like meandering and stuff. But like I liked the 10 chapters of people just like talking about how depressed they were. That shit was fucking peak. Um like fucking like Swordman. I fucking love Swordman. Uh like that he was so fucking such a good fucking character. You know what I mean? And didn't press that. There we go. And you know, I'm just excited for more shit like that. And I want to see more Katana Man fanboying over Asa. I want to see him continue to fanboy over his Oshi. That was such a good bit. I cannot. It was such a good bit. It was just like, yeah, her poetry collection like you know is coming out in a couple weeks. Why do you know that? Just shut up. Just like, uh, um, in like the poetry collection, great callback. I once again, I totally want to see that like actually show up as just a recurring bit. And like I hope it is canonically just like the worst fucking poetry. You know what I mean? Like I hope like people comment about how Asa's poetry is bad. Oh my god, maybe Denji's like the only person who thinks it good. How adorable would that be? I feel like that is the exact kind of like cute shit that would happen between. No, he'd like come up with like 8 insults, but then like say something nice about it, and then she'd blush. It's like, but you know, it's like it's got a certain charm to it, you know. And it's like I'm just fucking imagining that one YouTube video. But God, yeah, Chainsaw Man, Osiden, what a good fucking ship. How good is Osiden? I think the Nail Devil is still. Has the Nail Devil showed up since the breakout? I don't think the Nail Devil got murked. No, the Nail Devil got murked by Kwangzi. I think. Denji can read? Yeah, Denji can read. Shut up. Be nice to my son. Denji can read. Yeah, Denji... Denji can read at least at a first grade level, I'm pretty sure, which I imagine is the level that Asa's poetry is at. But yeah, God, every Chainsaw Man chapter just ruins my heart. The marriage talk. Yeah, I'm pretty sure. Yeah, there's new marriage toxin as well. I'm still Marriage Toxin was pretty goddamn good. I don't know if any of you guys read Marriage Toxin. I know one of you doesn't. But that was really good. We're getting like one of the first antagonists we ever had is kind of getting development. She's from the Water Clan, but she was like born to the Fire Clan. They think like that she's cursed and that she's the reason that like she can't fucking that she's the reason that like their clan is going downhill because she's cursed, when in reality it was just regular old mismanagement. But now she has to have a duel with them to settle things. That's gonna be a lot of fun. And in general, I'm pretty sure there was like a really nice ship moment with Garo and Kinosaki, which is like the main thing I care about. But I'm really excited for the new arc. Dame Doll, the new the recent Dame Doll stuff was absolute peak. I don't know if everyone on the stream has read. I don't even know how many people are in the stream. I thought there was only one return. Okay, I'm gonna check how many people are in the stream. 2 concurrent viewers. Okay, so it's one person who's definitely read it and one person who I don't know if they have. Oh, we're at this part. Yay, we're gonna have that one boss that killed me like 80,000 times before. Anyways. It's about it's this up and coming rom-com that's really 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 good, like classic in the making, about an idol who has exactly one fan. He is the she is his Oshi. He spends enough money on her for her to be profitable to the group that she's a part of, I'm pretty sure. Even though that she has absolutely no goddamn talent. Her name's Urumin, and they're so married, man. They're so fucking married. They're so married. They are so goddamn married. These two people fucking destroy me. Oh, what? I don't remember this part from this goddamn... Oh, right, yeah. Because the Emmy comes out. But the most recent arc was about her getting like a TikTok account had a fail compilation of her. And that fail compilation resulted in her... it resulted in her getting a lot of new fans, but then the fans showed up and they thought that she was worse live. And the reason she was worse live is because she couldn't see her biggest fan in the crowd anymore, and that gave her depression because she is hopelessly in love with him. And I think she figured it out at the end of that most recent chapter, because we just finished that arc. He confessed love to her, but it was ambiguous whether or not he meant it romantically. But she is absolutely in love with him now, and I'm so excited. There's been this stuff where it's like they keep missing each other when they go to the same college, and I'm kind of hoping we continue those shenanigans. And I kind of hope... Okay, so the greatest love story, or one of the greatest love manga of all time, is this thing called Tonori no Sekikun. It's not actually a romance manga, but it is a love story. It's absolutely fantastic. It's this thing where it's like, it's this... Oh, ads inserted. All right, people are getting ads. I don't know. I don't know if anyone's having ads right now. I'm just gonna... Man, it's not gonna tell me when the ads are goddamn over? No, that's annoying. Whatever. Anyways, as I was saying, so Tonori no Sekikun, it's basically this thing about these little junior high kids, and one of them is always messing around in the back of class with these incredibly extravagant means of goofing off. And then there's this girl who can't focus on class because of him, because she sits right next to him, and it's like, at first she's like, oh my god, I can't focus on class because of Sekikun, and she like wants him to stop, but in reality she's super into all of it. And things eventually progress to the part where like she gets mad if his games aren't entertaining enough for her, or if it's something that only he can enjoy without her getting vicarious enjoyment by watching it. And he starts incorporating her into all of his games. And it's literally the cutest thing in existence, I think. Actually, I think like scientifically there hasn't been anything as cute as it. And there is a sequel manga that absolutely obliterates my heart about them as a married couple. And there is absolutely no questions to be asked about how they got married, because of course they did. How would these two not get married? And one of the things they did in that one, one of the things that they did in Tonari no Seki-kun, is they kept having Yokoi, the girl, run into Seki's family. She keeps running into all of Seki's family, right? She ran into Seki's little sister and became the little sister's favorite person in the entire goddamn world. And then she met his mother, and his mother absolutely loves her. And is always apologizing on his behalf, and just wants Yokoi to not hate her son. And then Yokoi is really into this like one like particular like it's like a posable like panda figure that she really likes. It's called like Action Panda or something like that. And Seki's dad dresses as one and is like as a mascot for his job. And she gets to like have a bunch of pictures with him, and he was really fond of her too. And so it's just like everyone has already like in that family has already like made her a new official part of the family without Seki's consent. And so like that just kind of added to the whole thing. And so we have seen Urumin's in Damedal. We have seen Urumin's mother and her brother. Her brother, very concerned about the fact that she's talking about a guy, right? Because she's talking about Kimiya, who is the name of her fan. And I cannot wait for the two of them to meet. And I hope that next chapter is them meeting. And it's about just... God, I mean, that'd be so goddamn cute. The other thing that I recently caught up on is Destroy All Humans. They Can't Be Regenerated, which is this... rom-com about these two kids in junior high who both play Magic the Gathering. And it's basically the first 9 chapters of High Score Girl, but extended over a much longer period of time. The first 9 chapters of High Score Girl, the only good part of that manga. Oh, shots fired! I mean, literally shots fired in the game as well. But, okay, all right, this boss fight's actually kind of hard. Ah! I forgot how the controls of this game! But yeah, that one's been, that's cute. That's another one of my favorite ships of all time. They've got a lot of chemistry. They're just like these two little nerds being little nerds together, playing Magic the Gathering. They're a little nerd game as they nerd out about the nerd game that they're both nerds about. And they both love each other and support each other. And like when one of them is feeling like slightly down, they'll like do all this like dumb corny shit to try to cheer the other person up. And it like I would kill for these people, and I might have to, considering how so like a big theme is like similar to Chainsaw Man, like Nostradamus' prophecy, the Great King of Terror. And they're talking about like, okay, like let's be together when the world ends in 1999, is like what they talk about. And that's happening at the same time that she's leaving. She has to move out. She's have to move with her dad. It's so sad. No. And it's like, run to her. It's literally that thing. This is what like literally like they're slow running the fucking first 9 chapters of High School Girl. It's literally that thing where like it feels like Guile's theme should have been playing, right? Where like Guile literally comes out and like convinces the protagonist of High Score Girl to like go and like run after like his love interest, right? It's literally that he's doing right now, except like he needs to like win a game of Magic in order to get like cab fare or something like that. I don't know exactly what's going on. But at the same time, at the same time that all of that is happening, a satellite is breaking out, port in orbit, and crashing into Tokyo or some shit. And there's this like black guy from America who has to like stop it. And he's also really good at Magic the Gathering, but he's not playing Magic the Gathering. He's trying to stop, and I don't know what's going on. and I don't know what's happening, and I'm so confused because I'm pretty sure this doesn't happen in our world, right? So I'm pretty sure this is like a historically divergent moment. So for all I know, Tokyo's gonna get fucking pelted by debris, and there could be like an actual pseudo-apocalyptic event here as this like fucking satellite crashes down and like kills a bunch of people in the middle of this junior high rom-com written by the same guy who made Fat Master Kurosawa. I don't know why I mentioned that. Just still wows me that he went from like that to this, the most wholesome thing in existence. Anyways, that's another thing that's been Kindergarten Wars has been kind of destroying me. Though we're in kind of a lull. We're kind of at like the start of an arc. We got like this new guy, and we're kind of okay. This is like a thing that's kind of always on my mind, right? Shipping ethics, right? Not like pro shipper, anti shipper shit, right? Like I'm not. I don't. Like that's not what I'm talking about. You know what I mean? Like, it's not about like, am I comfortable shipping these two characters because they're cute? But also, one of them commits crimes against the other person that are intended to be comedic. So it's like, okay, they're really, really cute, but the girl punches the guy sometimes. Like, okay, can I look past this? Can I ignore this? And that's a big question when you're a shipper, right? Because a lot of the good shit is written by people with like all right, because like the thing I was talking about, like kindergarten girls, like kindergarten girls, kindergarten wars, right? I feel like that's pretty typical anime stuff, right? Yeah, and it's and I hate it, right? Like there's pretty like low level stuff like Doll My Doll where it's like, okay, well, you know, it's technically a celebrity and her fan, so there's a power dynamic there, but like no, there isn't. Not with these two. Like I get that like in general that's a thing, but like no, there's not, right? But then you have shit like you have shit like Kindergarten Wars where it's like you got that thing where it's like, oh, you know, this woman's already said no to this guy a bunch of times, but he hasn't like stopped asking her out. But it's like, you know, you like you kind of want to root for it because you want both of them to be happy and they seem to have some chemistry. I have no such limitations for I've rejected my humanity. No, okay, yeah. Like I admit that I'm not at your power level. But you know, it's just this like I guess a thing that's like pretty common with it. You know, it's like, okay, do I you know, like there's like one of those questions being asked about like Yoru and Denji and like the threesome after, you know, Yoru just did that shit. Especially since after this chapter, it seems like she understood what she was doing a lot better than we gave her credit for. But then, you know, it's like with Kindergarten Wars, you have that classic thing where it's just like, oh, you know, I'm going to be persistent. And I'm like, in real life, that's like the fucking worst. But it's like, guys, I really want her to have a good love interest because I like this character a lot and this guy seems fun. And, you know what I mean? And it's like, I'm tentatively shipping it, but it's like, but like in Destroy All Humans, right? It's like literally this guy has trauma from this girl being like way too affectionate. And it's like, I don't know, man. I kind of think that like, even if he did have feelings for you at one point, the fact that he now has a literal phobia because of your actions is maybe a sign that you're not good for him. But like I'm mostly saying that because there's a girl I like him with better, right? Like, and then there's that kind of thing, kind of like that thing like Quinn in Review said, right? Where sometimes like, you know, you stop blaming the character and start blaming the writers, you know what I mean? Right? Like it's like the writers think that this is funny, but it's like, you know, like that's kind of a thing. I don't know if you guys have watched like Tomodachi Game, right? Like, you know, like there's this character whose entire thing is that he's like the nice, like upstanding guy who's like an idiot and kind of aggro, but like he means well. And they decided to give one of his like moments of weakness, like when giving him moments of weakness of like times like he almost did something bad, but he's like he's too good of a guy, is an aborted moment of like attempted rape. And it's like, okay, Like he stopped because she had like scars or some shit like that. And it's like, what are you smoking? Like literally like ignore that one thing, and then the rest of the goddamn manga, it's like, oh man, I love this guy, and the ship he's in is super fucking cute. Like even it, it's like a younger guy, older girl thing that actually feels like it was done right. But then it's like you have that bullshit, and like, am I allowed to like this character anymore? Right? Like it's. I mean, like his love interest isn't like the girl in question, thank goodness. But it's like, you know, it's like I want to like him because it's like I like a lot of the stuff from him, and like the ship is peak, but that's not peak, but it's it's up there, right? Like 3.8 stars, right? Uh, and then like another huge thing, Bijutsubu girl, art club girl. One of the cutest things in existence. Genuinely super adorable. It is like the entire plot is about this girl who's a complete goddamn degenerate, right? And her thing is, so she's constantly drawing lewd art in class. And who's sitting right next to her is like the class's jock, who's like, this, okay. Yeah. Yeah, is this like jock who's like really popular, and like she thinks is like completely out of her league, right? But then like he like spies her lewd drawings and then gets curious about like the anime that it's from. And then she accidentally turns him into a degenerate, and then they fall in love. Is that not like one of the greatest concepts for a love story of all time? And it is further evidence of my theory, also supported by Destroy All Humans That Can't Be Regenerated, and this one manga that I keep forgetting the name of because it's just the name of the two main characters. That if you want to do that, like, I want to say timeless, but that implies I have positive opinions towards it. If you want to do that, like, that thing that like all these shonen rom-coms do, where it's like, oh, and they're like also shoujo rom-coms too. What am I talking about? Oh my god, they are the most attractive person in class, and they get all these amazing grades, and like our protagonist is like this total lame-o, but like, oh my god, they fall in love, and it's like, it's not just like the fact that that's the stuff that's happening, but the fact that they like really fetishize all those aspects of it, right? Like, and it just gets very cringy. There is a way to do it, and the way to do it is by making the person that the popular kid falls in love with the weirdest gremlin in existence, just an absolute fucking creature, right? That's how you do it, right? You make them a goblin child. And that's how you make it make sense. And I don't know why that works. I'm probably gonna make a video on how that works right at some point, but make them a goblin child, and all of a sudden, yeah, no, I get it. Yeah, she fell in love with this guy who is a complete fucking mess. Absolutely. Yeah, no, 100%, right? But anyways, yeah, and this is just a gender bent version of that. And like, I love that. And they have so much chemistry, and it's full of all these like absolutely adorable moments where it's like, oh my god, like he just like sees her like going on an autistic rant about JoJo's Bizarre Adventure, and he's just smiling because she's so into it, and that just makes him smile. And it's like, more of this, please, right? Absolutely more of this. But also, it's like, it's a real, like, if the genders were reversed thing for a lot of the stuff that she does. You know what I mean? And like, I think with the way that it's written, some of it you could have gone away regardless, but some of it's just like, oh boy, I've got this person's fucking possession. I can't wait to sniff it when I get home. It's like, excuse me, ma'am, this is a Wendy's. Like, and it's just like, I wish there was less of that, right? Like, I don't have an issue with her like being flustered and like constantly horny on main. It's just like some of it like borders on like sexual harassment and stuff, and I'm not sure like I'm down for that, but I'm down for like 90% of it, you know what I mean? And it's like, it's so much stuff that like I wish there was more of. But like it's surrounded by this absolute like why? Why? So yeah, that's and I think the answer a lot of the time is just learn to enjoy it, right? You know, there's something that you like in it. There's something that you find valuable, that you find worth trying to salvage. So salvage it, right? And there's meaning in that. Um, but at the same time, like it's not exactly not frustrating. You know what I mean? Okay, no, okay, I have to use non-muscles for that. Excellent. All right. Um, yeah, so that's just something I've been thinking about with all of these like rom-coms I've been reading. I read this pretty interesting one this morning. That has a pretty interesting. Okay, all right, yeah, I just completely missed that one. That has I think a pretty interesting premise. So this guy, uh, his childhood friend moved away for a while and they lost contact, but she recently moved back in and it's like she's sticking up for him when he's getting bullied, and she's really pretty now. And then at the end of, and they're really reforming. They're reforming like an old connection, and it's really, really sweet. And then the chapter one ends with his mom getting a call, and she's like, "Did you say that she's back in town?" And he's like, "Yes." And she says, "She died a year ago." And it's like, what the fuck? It reminds me of like the ending of like the City of Imprisoned Love, which is one of my favorite mangas of all time, and I really hope it gets an anime adaptation at some point. Um, City of Imprisoned Love, first chapter ended with with this girl in the main character's friend group being like, "Oh my god, you're always focused on I, right? Like, focus on me. I like you." And she like pushes him into bed, and then like she takes off her shirt but only part way, and then written on her breasts are these pieces of paper saying that keep your mouth shut. They're watching us. One of the best hooks of all time. And like off of that premise, the rest of the manga does not disappoint like at all. It's so good. Oh, it's so good. There's so much good manga. I need to check what that guy is writing. How much manga are you following right now? At the moment, I'm going to keep it with like 1 to 2 at a time. I'm keeping up with. So here's the thing. So I've got like a few that I keep up with like every now and then. Stuff like "'Tis Time for Torture Princess." Uh, I don't need to explain the premise of that one. It's got an anime adaptation. People know that isn't porn now. But stuff like "'Tis Time for Torture Princess" and "Kindergarten Wars" and all the stuff that I've been talking about so far. But also like I have this thing where like several times a day I go onto Mangadex and do the advanced search. And I search for comedy and romance as the positive tags, and for the negative tags, I think I have like incest, harem, and loli. And then I just full send it with like most recently updated and see what I run into. And I've run into some fun stuff. And I've run into a lot of trash too. There's this one great one that I found. Not great, like great as in that it's absolutely awful, and I never click on it when I see it. It's called Brain Rot Girlfriend, and it's one of those things where it's just like one of those Twitter things where it's like first person and it's like a panel at a time, and it's not like an actual story. It's just like a what if situation of you and a cute girl, but it's like a parody of that because like it's the entire girls the time the girls like haha, YOLO fam squads rizzed out, skeet skibbity skibbity skibbity, and it and like the point of view guy like boyfriend is like, I am going to punch you if you don't stop, and like that's the entire premise. And um there's a few there's one called like Sometimes Even Reality Is a Lie that I've been watching, which is like um it's like this guy meets up with his like online friend, and but like his online friend is a girl, and it's like she brings him home for like some whatever reason, but it's like for some goddamn reason like they need to dress him up as a girl, and he starts living this entire lie of being a woman to this like female friend's family. um and he's and I don't know, like there's like it was a cute couple that I thought was that pretty compelling. I'm like curious where else it'll go. I want to catch up. I always see My Dress Up Darling there, and I want to catch up. Everyone's saying that it's fallen off, but like I love that one so much. I want to at least like I want to like give it a shot, right? I think I've read up to like chapter 50, but it's like a chapter 100 at this point, right? Um, so that one's one I want to catch up with. But yeah, like weird obscure stuff. I feel, there's some weird stuff. There's a lot of like kind of like the trend right now is Garu stuff. So, you know, it's like, you know, some like Otaku X Gyaru stuff. Kind of like inspired by, hold on. The one meme of the thanks for not saying progress in my family. I know that took restraint as an entire story. Like, but it's not a story. It's just a series like one-off panels. Because that's all the rage right now because, I don't know. I don't like those things. Yeah, well, no, except that she doesn't have restraint. She doesn't have restraint at all. And yeah, like a very big thing is Gyaru stuff. I think it was heavily inspired by My Dress Up Darling and other shows such as, you know, My First Girlfriend Was a Gal, and Yancho Gal Anjasan. You know, that got very, very popular, and then it was like, I think everyone was like, you know, kind of got Gyaru fever, and it's just, you know, like, it's an interesting thing because there's a lot of attendant tropes, right? Because like, for a while, the Gyaru in Japanese high school anime kind of had the same role as like the cheerleader in like 90s, early 2000s, like Western entertainment, right? It was like a similar ethos, right? Like a similar concept. Where it was like, you know, the one that bullied all of the you know, all of the nerds. But then there was this like moment where everyone collectively realized that popular people are tend to be popular because they're nice and that they will get along with you if you try talking with them, and that's why everyone likes them. And that and you know that like, you know, like nerd culture is becoming mainstream enough that it's like not generally considered as cringe anymore, and if someone learns that you play video games, it'll just be like, oh cool, how's that for you? And it's like, you know, and it's like a lot like started as like subversion where people are like there's no way that like a girl who's popular and pretty and wears makeup would want to date me, even though even though I've got like anime figurines, like, right? Like, there's no way that would happen. Oh my god, it happened, right? You know, it's a, you know, like, but you know, there's a lot of, you know, fun stuff where it, like, you know, it is humanizing this group that has, you know, always been kind of stereotyped, and a lot of it breaks into this trope that I really, really love, where it acknowledges that there is inherent chemistry between the fashionista and the anime nerd, in that they are, you know, that those are both forms of intense autism, which is an angle that they take. Like, um, that's kind of like Marin's character in My Dress Up Darling. That is just like, you know, she's, you know, a fashionable girl, and then she's also really, really into Arrow games and anime and cosplay and all this stuff, and like that all falls into the same personality matrix. And you know, then you have experienced you and experienced me, where, you know, you have this girl who's, you know, totally, you know, hip on the latest shiz, right? And you know, I watched that explanation point video recently. That's why. But you know, she's always like she's always got, you know, like she's obsessed with like nails and like latest fashion trends, and that's the wrong way. And all of that shit. But you know, it's like that helps her like really you know, empathize, you know, with, you know, the protagonist, and all of his nerdy interests, and like that's, and I think that's sweet, right? Like, I think that's a really like great way to take that and kind of evolve the trope. And like it's a little fetishistic, but like, I don't know, like in a lot of ways it kind of works, and there's a lot of like attendant tropes to this like arrangement that I find nice. What are some good ones that I've read? There's this cute one where it's just like he just kind of becomes besties with like these two girls that sit next to him, and it forms kind of a love triangle. Um, there's a couple of them, like I think one's called like Ikin Romance, and something like something Nanjo-san, that are just like misogynistic like bullshit, and like really makes you appreciate the rest of this schlop. Um, and there's God, I mean, there's lots of them, and there's a few that like I get excited whenever like they show up, right? But I'm struggling to remember exactly what they are. I might talk about them like later. I don't know, but I mean, like that stuff's always fun, right? I love, I like any romance that kind of centers hobby culture, like kind of at the center of it, because like that's something I relate to a lot. I think kind of like the happiness that comes from like sharing that kind of thing with someone else is really really it's really really sweet, and I think potentially very romantic. And so it's the kind of thing I really really like seeing. It's why I really like a Destroy All Humans They Can't Be Regenerated, why I really like Art Club Girl. um and it's one of the reasons I really really like a lot of the stuff in Scientists Fell in Love So They Tried to Prove It, which is another really great one that I really hope like gets like the translation continued soon, because like translation of that's kind of gone to a crawl. I think it's caught up with the anime and like a couple chapters after that, and not much else, which is a shame because it's a goddamn masterpiece of a manga. um Let me see what else have I been goddamn reading. I haven't been reading Attack on Titan. That's over. I was thinking about it earlier. All right, because I was rewatching my video that I made on that. That's probably the best thing I've made. That's something I could talk about. I could talk about the videos that I'm currently working on. I was working on two earlier today. One of the reasons I'm streaming is because I already had the stream setup all handled, because I was currently recording something. I was recording something for a video that's going to be on Prison School. Prison School is an anime and manga that I think is severely underrated. Like I don't think it's like the greatest thing in the world, but I think there's a lot to there's a lot to its writing that's very very inventive and creative and kind of deceptively complicated. Because it's doing a lot of stuff that like shouldn't really be possible, but it's kind of doing it with like extreme levels of execution. Like it is really funny in ways that it shouldn't be possible to make a story funny, and they get you to root for characters that you probably shouldn't be able to be made to root for, right? And there's just a lot of stuff like that. And when you actually dig into the hood, it's doing a lot of really really complicated stuff that I don't think enough people really appreciated. And I think like it's got some interesting things to say. Oh my god, there we go. And I just have a lot of respect for it. And so, I recorded sort of the intro to a video about that. That's probably going to be over 3 hours because I'm going to be going over the entire plot, specifically with regards to the main character's romantic subplot. Because one of my OTPs is in Prison School, and it's been bugging me for over 10 years because I think I'm one of the only people still invested in it, alive. I don't even think Akira Hiramoto is still invested in it. He wrote the damn thing. But that's what I'm working on. I kind of went over like all of the things that I think is interesting, and I stopped right before we would get to talking about the plot. And I'm gonna be like editing that together and uploading it to Patreon as like kind of like because I'm gonna be uploading all this stuff in parts. And I'm also currently working on something that I've already recorded, which is my Pride and Prejudice video. I'm making video on Pride and Prejudice and how it relates to a bunch of other stories, such as Evangelion and Macross. Specifically, the way that it connects is I'm really curious about the ways that stories are influenced by quote-unquote classics in the various ways that they are. So, like, first part is me talking about Pride and Prejudice, my reaction to it, as well as just how it relates to kind of the Otomi Isekai trend that I'm very, very much into. And how it's how certain parts kind of got translated into the modern day, the way things have changed, the way things have stayed the same. And I kind of want to do the same thing, talking about Evangelion, and some anime that I've watched that are very clearly influenced by it, specifically Darling in the Franxx, but also the works of Akira Amamiya, such as Gridman and Steina Zenon. With, you know, the former being a very kind of like aesthetic and like plot imitation that doesn't really work, with Scridman being this thing that like has kind of a shitty script, but the directing style is very clearly like inspired by Hideaki Anno's directing style, and is actually kind of like the best part of, you know, that's of those stories. You know, like Scridman, like say what you will about the script. It's a goddamn amazing directorial work. Same thing with Dynazenon. And sorry, Dynazenon. And it's just like, how do I word this? You know, just all the interesting things. The next part is going to be me talking about like, that's not how you dodge that attack. You jump over that one. Just fucking lose all your health already. But yeah, and the next part I'm going to be talking about, I actually need to watch this. For everything that I know about it, it seems that, you know, there's this very big trend of like, making characters waifus by having them diegetically break into song within, stories. And, you know, when I say diegetically break into song, I specifically mean like, you know, it's happening within the story, like in the sense that it's like, you know, canonically they are doing it. It's not just for the audience's, you know, purposes. But also, like, they aren't singing a musical number, they're singing a pop song. But, like, they find an excuse for that to happen in the middle of an action scene, right? And the way that this is used as a form of waifu appeal, I find truly fascinating. You know, the way that it's done in Fire Emblem Fates. Like, Fire Emblem Fates, it had this absolutely turbulent script writing process, right? The script was, like, way too long. They had to cut down a bunch. And, like, what makes it through? This decision that has absolutely no plot significance to have one of the main girls have her powers work by her singing, have everyone talk about the singing a lot, and build huge amounts of the game's soundtrack and script around that fact. And just like, you know, there's so much fascination with this idea in so many different places in media. And like, that's something that I think is really interesting to investigate. And then I'm also going to talk about My Dress Up Darling and other, you know, Garu shows, and how those, by being somewhat, you know, pop cultural icons, basically created this entire category of shonen fiction, of shonen romance fiction, to the point that it is now a tag on MangaDex's advanced search, that it became that prevalent, right? Like, it's as big of a phenomenon as like the Otome Isekai craze that like made it so that Villainous was a tag on it. And just like, you know, pontificating about all of that and talking about like, you know, kind of what I think about all of that. And it's going to make that in a bunch of steps. And then I'm also going to be finally making that goddamn Darling in the Franxx video that I have almost the entire script written out for, and that I've tried making a bunch of times, but then like I hated how it turned out. And so like I scrapped it and rewrote portions, and now I'm finally going to make it. I haven't recorded the first part of that yet. I want to have, by the end of June, my goal is to get the, you know, that 19 minute Darling and the Pride and Prejudice bit to Patreon. Get the kind of like, I think it's like 10 to 15 minutes of me talking about prison school that I've recorded up to Patreon and edited, which would be even easier to edit because unlike the Pride and Prejudice video, I am including some of, you know, my avatar as B-roll. And then also do a Smartphone Isekai episode 11 and be able to plug all of that stuff in the Smartphone Isekai thing, so I can plug my Patreon and like, hey, there is like a bunch of content that I made this month that you can watch if you subscribe to my Patreon. And you know, I want to get everything out, like all 10 of those videos. Oh my fucking god. Oh my fucking god. Oh my fucking. Okay, sir. I want to get all 3 of those videos up at the end of the year. So after I already have like up to my Patreon like old versions recorded by that guy who did lip syncing for me. You know, of the Darling of the Franxx video. And you know, I've got like about 40 minutes of that content. And so for the first upload I make to Patreon of like the new version that I'm making, since I don't have that guy anymore, I got to start from the beginning. I want to record up through and beyond that. And so that's just kind of like one of the things I've been considering. And so I think as soon, at some point soon, I'm probably going to try to record that whole like hour-long strip of content. Might take multiple takes, I don't know. But and hopefully get that out by sometime in July alongside, you know, another video and some other stuff. I'm also working on a video about Yu-Gi-Oh! And I actually would like to do some Yu-Gi-Oh! Streaming. I'm very interested in the kind of like limited side of Yu-Gi-Oh! You know, like playing limited rather than constructed. So playing with like a non prepackaged decks, but instead, you know, kind of like making stuff on your own. Oh boy. Excellent. Okay. Um, you know, I'm really interested in limited Yu-Gi-Oh! I think it'd be great to stream that. And there's a video on Yu-Gi-Oh! About the competitive community and an issue that I've had with them, specifically their inability to understand statistics that I've had in my mind for a while. I probably want to try posting that sometime by the end of the year. I think that could be fun. Don't come down here. Don't come down here. I'm not invisible anymore. Yeah. But that's been, I was doing some writing for that this morning. I also need to continue my goddamn job search. So I'm into a grad school at this point. But I need some extra money to help pay for, like, you know, early things of rent before student loans come in. And so as a result, I'm looking for a summer job and I'm having some trouble finding a good one. But hey, just got to keep at it. I'm really looking forward to the school year. I've made sure that I'm going to have plenty of time to also work on, what the, oh my God. Okay, well, I'm dead. Yeah, make sure that I'm also going to have plenty of time to work on videos. I got my schedule basically entirely figured out. I just need to focus on finding the summer job and working on some financial aid stuff. It's basically just the monetary aspect that I'm worried about, which is why I'm spending time playing Metroid with everyone. Oh wait, no, this isn't the part that I was thinking was. Never mind. Hold on. Oh my God. Oh my God. Okay. Yeah, no, this isn't the part of the game that I thought it was. I thought this is the part where we kill this thing, but like I'm insane. That comes in way later. That comes in way later. Not way later, but it's, you know, it's like the next section after this. And I got like I got like items to unlock before then. Okay. Yeah, this is how you handle this part. See, that's easy. That's easy. So that stuff's been stressing me out, and I'm probably gonna have to apply some more places when this is over. Oh. Wait for that to regrow. There we go. There we go. Okay. Actually, I do kind of need to work on that. I actually think this is a pretty good place to finish things off. I talked about everything that I really wanted to. I got to rant about CSM, which was nice. I talked about my channel, which is good. I want to keep you guys updated. And I'm just hoping that you guys have a wonderful day. Later, heroes. If I can't, where's the... I can't plug in my goddamn mouse because there's too many USB-C ports being used up, so I can't easily